Hey everybody, so in this video we are just going to review our time on the NCL Prima. We're just going to kind of run through any stuff that we didn't mention in all the other videos that we did.
Yeah, so like all the cruise videos that we do, this is just our opinion. We can't say for certain out of any of the cruise ships that we've been on that you're going to love them too.
Nope.
But we just put the content out there because you know what you like. We, produce the content for you to watch, and then you can decide whether that ship is for you or not. We can't say that for you.
Nope.
But yeah, this is just our opinion.
If you don't agree with us, don't moan in the comments.
You can respectfully.
Yes, of course you can.
You haven't got to agree with us at all, but you can do it respectfully.
Yes.
Agree to disagree.
Exactly. So this was our first time cruising with NCL. Our itinerary was we did 2 weeks from Southampton to the Norwegian fjords and Iceland. Now, this is
a round trip from Southampton.
That's what I was just about to say. This is a very rare trip on the Prima. All the other times we've seen it, it was Southampton to Reykjavik or Reykjavik to Southampton. There was no round trip Southampton.
Apart from that fortnight.
So we dropped on. We really did.
They're doing the same in 2020 because I think it's gone across to the Caribbean now for the winter. But then I think it's coming back in the summer of 2024, and it's doing the
Southampton.
It's not doing the round trip from Southampton again, which that's a bit of a shame really, because I'm guessing it's going to put a lot of people off. Yeah,
because you'd either have to, especially for us being from like middle of the country, we'd have to say drive to Southampton or try and get down there by train, and then fly back from Reykjavik. And then mess about.
It's a bit daft,
it's a lot of faff for us in the middle of the country, or if you're from up north.
So we booked our cruise. It was about 6 weeks before we went. Yeah. We opted for a inside cabin, and we didn't have the drinks package, and that cost us £1,650 for the both of us. Yeah. Roughly, yeah.
Oh, and one other little thing is you do have to pay tips or gratuities on this cruise.
Yeah, because that's $650 that we paid.
$1,650. I wish it was $650.
That $1,650 that we paid for the both of us was just a standard price without gratuities.
Yes. Now, we prepaid our gratuities. You could either prepay them, which works out a little bit cheaper, or you could pay them once on board and they got added on daily. Now, it does depend on what cabin you're in, on how much you will pay. I'll put it's on the screen now so you can see. It was obviously we had an inside, so it was the cheapest. I think like once you start getting into different types of balconies and then the haven, it works out more per day per person. I wish it was just in on the price.
Yeah. Well, the staff were very good and they did deserve it. So, but it would be easier if you just added it in on the price and then you know. Yeah. Keep a lookout with Norwegian because they do the free at sea offer for like the drinks package. I think the internet, and then you get some specialty dining.
Yes.
Money towards your shore excursions. So it is a very good offer, and we did look at it. But with us not drinking, it's just never worthwhile for us.
No.
But if you like a couple of drinks, whatever, with your meal or in the evening, it's definitely worth. It's one of the better.
I think it's the best one
drinks
we've
packages
seen.
I've seen with any cruise line.
It normally works out at say £25 per person per day, but that's all your drinks. That up to a certain price. I think it's not the top drinks package. It's the next one, and then it's on ours because we're on 2 weeks. It would have been 2 specialty dinings, which got your money's worth there.
And I noticed before we went that they also had an offer on the free at sea offer that they already had, so you could get even.
I think it was half price.
Yeah, it was half price or something like that. So they do have some really good deals for that. So make sure you look out for that if you do want the drinks package. So the Prima itself holds about 3,200-ish passengers, and when we were on, because we always like to ask on the first day of embarkation how many are on, it was more or less full. I think there was like 3,100-ish passengers. Yeah. But what I did like about this cruise is there was a good mix of nationalities. Yes. It was really, there was just people from all over the world on there, which, you may like that, you may not. But for us, that's definitely a big bonus because, well, it's just like we like travel really. Because just different people from different parts of the world. And we did like that. Yeah,
it was nice. Now, before we got on the ship, we could like log on and book a few restaurants. and bits like that.
We don't know how far in advance that
No.
you can do that, because like I said before, we only booked 6 weeks before. So I think we could do it from then.
Maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head.
Might have been 4 weeks before. I think it depends what tier you
Yes,
are,
that's the
how
thing.
often you've cruised with
Yeah, 'cause it was our
NCL.
first.
But like say, with us only booking 6 weeks before, I don't know how far in
Yeah.
advance you could do it, because we spoke to a couple on a cruise that had dined with Norwegian loads of times. So
Cruise,
we were
not
obviously-
dined.
Yeah,
Well, they
sorry.
would have dined.
Yeah, they would have dined. They've cruised with NCL loads
Yeah.
of times, and they were in, like the loyalty program. They were in the top tier. So I think she said that they booked to their restaurant 6 months in
Yeah.
advance. They were able to, but like I said, we can only speak for us.
Yes, yeah. So like I said, we did book a couple of restaurants, but with it being
One.
freedom dining,
We did one.
I think
Yeah.
we booked 2, but we ended up cancelling one
cancelled
because we
one,
wanted to
did
go
we?
somewhere
Yeah.
else. But yeah, because it's freedom dining, you don't have
We just
to book
mainly
them.
use
yeah,
that.
we didn't have the massive option of different times.
No.
Because they must have obviously got booked up. So if you see like, oh, I can't book, it must be fully booked, just go on at the time of opening or whatever time you want and you'll get seated.
Because once you're on board, it wouldn't let you then use the app to book a table. You
No.
had to, like say, it's freedom dining, so in all, we just turned up. But you could dial a number from your cabin, or you could go down to the restaurant
Yeah.
if you wanted to reserve a table for a specific time. But you couldn't do that on the website
No.
or the app once you were on board.
No, but you could, if you didn't want to go one of the included restaurants, even though there was 4 of them, you could book specialty ones once on board.
Yeah.
You could book them beforehand if you wanted. They do packages, and they do like one for, if you wanted, almost every night of your cruise. So it was very expensive, but if you wanted it, the option was there.
So you couldn't pre-book any of the entertainment before you went on board. They were advertising on the app some of the theatre shows that they had on. It was like the Donna Summer show, Deal or No Deal.
Yeah.
It was advertising that, but when you went for click on it, it just said it was something like inquire on board or something
reservation
like
not
that.
required.
Reservation not
Something
required,
like that
I think
wanted.
it said, yeah. So obviously you couldn't pre-book any of the shows. The only thing that you could do was pre-book the Price is Right game show that they had in the main theatre, which was very, very good, by the way.
Yes.
Just exactly like
It was.
watching it, in the game
It was
show.
like you were like
Yeah.
in the audience for watching the actual taping of a show.
It was brilliant.
Definitely pre-book that. Just pre-book it because there's not many shows that. Was there only a couple maybe?
2, I think.
Yeah. So definitely pre-book that because it's amazing. Now once you're on board, there's a virtual queue on the app.
Yeah.
That's the only thing, whether that's entertainment, restaurants, anything that you could join a virtual queue for. So if you didn't book it, you could maybe join a virtual queue, but I wouldn't risk it.
I think
Just book it.
on the day of embarkation, you could go to the theatre because it said book your shows here or something.
Yeah.
And then we asked the guy, and he went, "Oh, it's only for the Price is Right."
Yeah.
Because that's where we were a little bit confused.
Yeah.
I swear I'd read before we went on board whether they changed it or NCL like to mix it up a bit depending on cruise ships or
Capacity
itinerary
and
of the
stuff,
ship,
yeah.
capacity. Yeah, because we went to the guy and said, "So have we got to come in here and book all our shows then for the whole cruise?" And he went, "No, you just turn up for them." And we were like, "Are you sure?" Because even in the cabin,
it says
was saying reservation required.
That's the one.
Yeah, for some of the shows. So double check whilst you're on board, because like you said, we then got to the cabin and it was saying reservation required. So we then went to guest services and said, "What is it?" The guy at the theatre is saying you don't reserve shows. The cabin is saying on the television screen that you've got to reserve shows. Which is it? And she says on this, for our cruise anyway, you don't reserve shows. It's first come, first serve when you turn up to the theatre.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So first impressions of the ship now, we really like the ship.
Yeah.
It's
definitely Marmite, I would say.
Yeah, it's very, from when speaking to people on board, people either loved it or hated it. It is very different.
Some people, it grew on them.
Yes.
Yeah, some people were like, I stepped straight on board and hated it, and then I loved it by the end of it. So, you know.
You could see, like, how some people didn't like it. If you liked sunbathing by a pool, well, there was only one, really. And that was kind of shaded by the go-kart track.
And we were on a colder cruise,
So it
so
didn't
obviously
matter.
on a warmer cruise. Yeah. I get what they mean.
Yeah.
But I
Every
liked
ship
it.
needs to be different. That's what we say.
And like I say, I think it all, again, we can only give our opinion, and we can't say if you're going to think the same.
No.
But, who you are as a person, whether some people just don't like change, they don't like things that are different, and that's completely fine. But I like change, I like something that's different.
Yes.
And, you know, if you don't like that, you probably might not be the ship for you.
Like the atrium, it's a bit smaller, but it was nice, bright. Obviously, it did have the multiple levels.
I thought it was more like a fancy hotel
lobby
than a cruise ship atrium.
Yeah.
I didn't mind that.
No, not at
I
all.
liked it.
Yeah, because they had more smaller places to go than one.
The whole ship in general, yeah. I'd say with the Prima, they had more places to go on the ship, which was smaller.
Yes.
But then you could argue that, well, I didn't get a chance to see, because if the ship is full like it was with us, you might struggle to get in some places.
Yeah.
But then there's more choice, so it's one of them. There's pros to that and there's cons to that. But I preferred that because there was more choice of things to do.
Yeah, like there was some really nice outdoor seating areas.
Yeah.
Which we couldn't make the most of because it was freezing cold and rough seas.
Yeah, it had a beautiful outdoor area.
Especially the back, the aft of the ship. Like, that was really nice there. So, obviously, all cruise ships are the same. They're kind of made for warmer weathers. So, there's bits that you obviously can't use when it's a colder, damper cruise, let's say.
Yeah. So they did have a nice observation lounge at the front of this ship. Now, I think a lot of ships tend to have one of these now. But, again, there's complaints on the ship about being full, which it was difficult. In the day, it was fine. But in the evening, you did tend to struggle to get a seat. But to be fair, that's been the same on every ship that we've ever been on. There'll be the next lot of vlogs going out after this. But we've just come back off the MSC Eurybia.
Yeah.
And in their Sky Lounge, it was exactly the same.
Yes.
If you went in the evening, you struggled to get a seat. So, you know, I don't think that's just a problem on the NCL Prima. No. But yeah, I get why as well some people... Yeah, can get a bit annoyed because it is a nice place to sit.
And in the day, I think it was breakfast, and did they call it afternoon tea? Something
I think it was
like
like
that.
3 till... Check your Freestyle Daily magazine when you're on. I think it was 3 p.m.
I think
till 5 p.m.
they called it maybe afternoon tea or something.
Afternoon snacks.
They did food, so you could get a breakfast sandwich, like croissants, fruit, and then they did some other sandwiches in the afternoon. So that was a nice touch. It was just another little area you could go to. Because people did do that if they missed breakfast in the main dining room, the buffet. That was open a little bit later, and it was crazy that time. Gone 11 o'clock, everyone's like sitting on the floor with plates of food, and everyone's in each other's ways. So that was like a time to avoid it, let's say.
So we thought the staff on this ship, the crew, were absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
They really were, weren't they? They were so good on this cruise ship. They just worked so hard, and their aim for every second of the day was just to make sure that the passengers on that ship were having, you know, a good time. They were really good. Probably one of the best.
Yeah.
I mean, they work hard on all the cruise ships, but on this one in particular, they were just amazing.
They were attentive.
Yeah, they were. They were just lovely. Obviously, I think we've mentioned it in some of the other videos, but we had quite a few rough sea days in there.
Yes.
And, you know, you'd see people in the observation lounge and people were just sat not feeling great.
Yeah.
You know, there was a bit of
a lull.
Yeah, there was a bit of a lull. You could tell people weren't feeling great. And there was this group of crew members, and they went round the observation lounge and the Food Republic, which was a specialty dining restaurant that they used for breakfast. They opened it up
for the buffet.
For the buffet, And they went round in the observation lounge and in the Food Republic, and they were just singing, handing out cookies, and they were just trying to cheer people up. And I can remember one time we were sat in the observation lounge, and I just didn't feel very well, and I was a bit like down because it's a bit rubbish. It's ruining your holiday. And they came through, and honestly, you just automatically put this massive smile on my face and really cheered me up, and I was laughing. And I just think, what nice, just nice, and what nice human beings.
Pick me up.
Yeah.
We'll put a clip on so you can see and they sing and stuff. They are funny.
They were really fun. Yeah, they were just amazing. But we'll put a clip over now.
Good morning, strawberry cookies. Only for today, different tomorrow. Would you like to try? We are the cookies girls.
One other thing is there was a few areas of the ship that was taken up by the Vibe and the Haven areas. So the Vibe is like, anybody can pay for that. It's like a quieter area of the ship with sun lounges and hot tubs and a bar and
You
stuff.
can have daily or weekly access to
Yes.
that. You can pay for it as a standard guest.
Yes. And the Haven is like MSC's version of the yacht club. It's their like higher end bit. They've got their own private restaurant and little bar area and stuff.
And it's one of them. Just let us know, because we haven't cruised with NCL before.
No.
So is that the case on other Norwegian Cruise Line ships? Because he did take up a lot of the space
Yes.
for other guests, but then the Haven guests are paying a lot of money for that experience. So should they get a lot of the better views of the ship? He just, for me, seemed to take up a lot more of the ship than other crew, let's say than MSC's yacht club or whatever.
He
didn't leave much.
A lot. It was basically like the back half of the top deck was Vibe and Haven, like lounge areas and stuff. It was a lot. When you think people were saying there's not much room at the top for pools and stuff. Oh, that's because like a lot of it's taken up by the Haven and the Vibe. So I know
by the time you've added that area and then the go-kart track, it did take up a lot of. It didn't leave much room for just us commoners to get some nice views.
Personally, my most important thing on a cruise ship is the food.
And man,
we absolutely love the food on board.
Yes, I would say so far it's been the only cruise line where we felt defeated when we come off.
Yes.
Yeah, it just we are big foodies. We love our food, but it was just absolutely amazing.
Yeah. Now, we didn't do any specialities. I think it's the first time. Oh no, we didn't do any on Princess, but we didn't feel like we needed to do any. I will quickly walk through the food. Now, the main dining room, you've got two main dining rooms, the Hudson and Commodore. The Commodore's a smaller one, and we didn't eat in there. Hudson's the one at the back with the views.
Yeah, it was the nicer of the two if you wanted the nicer views.
Now, we've done food videos for all these four places. Really, really enjoyed the food in the main dining room. Top tip, if you haven't seen the video, be careful when it comes to chicken. It could be anything from a skewer to half a roast chicken.
Yeah, if it just said chicken on the menu. Yeah, like you say.
It could be anything. Food Hall is one of our favourite places to go.
It's a brilliant concept that you've introduced, and I hope obviously other cruise lines start doing the same.
It was just handy.
Yeah, it was very good. Yeah, you could just sit there and have all the options of different food and just order it at the tablet. I thought it was a very good system.
The food quality was amazing.
Yeah, we thought so. Yeah, I loved it.
Some people, we'll just say quickly, I had a breakfast bowl of tater tots, chilli, and scrambled eggs. Some people have said it's a bit weird. I quite enjoyed it, actually.
Yeah, me.
I think our probably favourite place was the local bar and grill.
Yeah, oh, that was lovely.
I'm going to put you
just eat one of them burgers.
I'm going to put you a picture now of a Reuben sandwich on the screen. It was huge. Okay, could have done us both.
Yeah,
it was like that thick. It was
nice breakfast in there as well. It was very nice in there.
And then the buffet. Some people did moan that it was a small buffet,
which it was. To be fair,
it was a smaller buffet. It was just like one line wanted. You can see why the buffet's a little bit smaller, because you've got the MDR, the Food Hall, and the local bar and grill, which are all included in the price of your cruise to eat at as well.
Whether they were underestimating, maybe they thought because they'd added in these other food places that less people would maybe want to go the buffet, but whether that's backfired a little bit, because there was still, even though there was the other eating places, I was quite surprised about how busy the buffet was when you had them other places. So whether that was their thinking and it's backfired, but it probably if ever in years to come it goes in for maybe a refurb or something, they could maybe extend that a little bit.
Because they did have every night theme nights in the buffet, which were brilliant.
The food itself was brilliant, like you're saying, and the theming that they had every night was steak and shrimp.
Oh, that shrimp
night.
was massive. It was like a Vegas buffet, that shrimp was.
It was a good buffet.
You can take that into hand that it's a bit smaller, but you've got the other places that are included to spread people out, which they didn't make the most of. People didn't.
Yeah, that's fair, because just because something, just because that buffet was, we've been on other cruise ships where, the buffet's a lot bigger, but that doesn't mean the quality's any better. So you've got to think, would you prefer to have, more choice but the quality not be as good? Or, would you prefer better quality? But then saying that as well, I think that on some other cruise ships we've been on, just because their buffet's bigger, some of the stuff's just then repeated.
Exactly.
It's not that they've got more choice on there.
Whereas nothing was repeated, it was all new items. So just take that with a pinch of salt, just spread yourself out and try the other places.
You did have free soft serve ice cream in the buffet.
Oh.
So I know not all cruise lines offer that.
No.
But yeah, they had it on there.
And Stacey was terrible at it.
So like we said at the beginning, we had a inside cabin. It was actually a really nice cabin. It was, you know, obviously the Prima isn't that old of a ship. So, you know, and you could tell that with the cabin. It was clean, it was modern, it was spacious for an inside cabin.
Yeah.
The only gripe is, now, when we film our cabin videos, we do it on the day of embarkation before we've unpacked, and it's messy. So when we do like a cabin tour, it's on first impressions, really.
Yes.
But we did, after a few nights, or probably after one night, it did annoy us that the heating in the cabin could not be turned off, and you had to or you couldn't change the speed setting.
No, couldn't.
So the air was constantly blowing, and you had to adjust the temperature to warm or cold. Yeah. And it really gave me a bad throat. I don't know if it's because we're from the UK and we're not used to like aircon, because anytime we go to America, aircon always gives me a sore throat, but usually you can turn it off.
I think the main problem of it was the position.
It was right above the bed.
It was above the tally.
It was more on the side I was sleeping, actually.
Can I just say this, by the way? Whenever we go away, Stacey likes to swap sides of the bed.
Than what we normally do at home. It's a thing that we've always done.
She does this all the time.
And I have to, I feel like something bad will happen if we don't switch.
That would have been my side of the bed normally, so that's on you. I'd just like to point that out, that is on you, that you want to switch sides of the bed.
So yeah, that was the only gripe with it, really. It was just a shame that you couldn't turn it off.
No.
And at night time as well, we'd come in, the cabin would be cool, so we'd try warm it up, and then in the middle of the night we'd have to get up again because we were then sweating to turn it down. It was a bit of a pain. It wouldn't stop me going again altogether. We just have to move the bed around or something, or
do something. That's
sleep in the bathroom.
Well, leaning onto the bathroom, it was a decent sized bathroom.
It was,
good sized shower and stuff like that. There was plenty of storage. The wardrobe was a good size, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was fine because we took a ridiculous amount of stuff on that cruise, and we managed to fit it all in.
Entertainment now, we're classing this under entertainment. The best thing for me was there was no gala night, no alligator evening, whatever you want to call it. There was none of that, and I loved it.
I'm guessing is that a Norwegian cruise line thing? It's not just on the Prima.
Guessing not.
Did they have them years ago? Like, say, we've never cruised with them before. Is it something that they've stopped, or but you weren't bothered by that at all?
I like that,
but then saying that, just because there's no gala evening, if you still want to dress up, then dress up.
People dressed up.
You know, don't just wait until people say, right, it's gala evening. You can dress up tonight. If you and your families want to dress up, don't wait for them to tell you to dress up.
No.
You know, just do it anyway, and obviously vice versa. You know, don't feel the need to dress up if you don't want to. Just do what you want on these cruises.
Exactly, because we still saw like people dressed up, you know, odd nights, because
there were still photographers the professional photographers.
So you could still get them photos if you like them cruise, nice fancy dress photos. The best place for us on this ship for entertainment was Sid Norman's.
Yeah.
It wasn't every night, and it did change up a bit. There was was there 4 of them? Yeah, there was 4 of them on there, and they were kind of like, it was scripted. It wasn't, you know, and they were doing all different stuff as well as the singing. The last night there was the prom night one day where they all came out in prom suits and stuff. It was good.
Only tip I'd say with that, because like we spoke about before, more venues but smaller venues on that ship, is that, so say this show started at 9, they let you in the doors at 8:30, but you'd have to be in the line, I'd say
8.
Yeah. The first night on the cruise, we got there about 40 minutes before it started, so we queued for about 10 minutes, then they let you in the half an hour before it starts. As it became more popular throughout the cruise, like you say, you'd have to stand from 8 o'clock to be guaranteed a seat if the show started at 9.
Well, not even, sometimes when they did the rumours one, not even guaranteed a seat, just guaranteed to stand in there as well.
A couple of times we just had to stand up, didn't we? Because, but it's a really cool place and a really cool venue, but like you say, that's the only thing.
Yeah, and they weren't short shows. Were they up to an hour?
Yeah.
Felt like they were up to an hour as well.
I think with that, what you've got to rely on really is, because like it was very popular, they did the Fleetwood Mac rumours.
The whole album.
And we spoke to another couple, like the same of us, saw it once, but then people were going again to watch it for the second time, whereas us and that other couple were like, we've seen it once, like other people see it. It's a tough one, isn't it? Because you've paid for your cruise, so you'll have that, some might have the attitude of, well, I want to watch it a second time, so I will, I've paid for my cruise. But yeah, I suppose you've got to be a bit courteous and maybe think, I'll let other guests because it's such a small venue.
Yeah.
I suppose that's up to you.
Yeah. Princess Theatre, they did have a lot of external acts. They had a comedian from America. They had, he was American but lived in England, the magician.
Yeah.
He was good. The world's fastest violinist. Bit random.
The only thing that's different than any other cruise ship we've been on is, say, they didn't have an act on performing 3 times that night. No. They perform once. Later on, they'd have something else in the theatre. They didn't have like the same show 3 times in the theatre. No. They'd have 3 different things on in the theatre. They'd have a performer on.
Yeah.
Then a game show in there, Mr. and Mrs. or something on the stage, and then they'd have a disco later on.
Or a movie.
And then that act would then perform another night. Yeah. They wouldn't do the same evening multiple times.
No, because...
I haven't seen that before.
No, because the thing with the theatre as well, it turns into a club. The seats fold down and move back, and that whole space turns into a club. So it didn't really many times. It's not like every night.
No.
But if you want that kind of thing, it's a good place because they bring a couple of bars in, don't they?
Yeah.
So there's a DJ and stuff in there.
So there was always plenty of the entertainment staff around, crew members. They were performing in the atrium. They had loads of quizzes going throughout the day. It was a very jam-packed schedule of things to do. Even on the port days, they still there was still, if you looked at like your freestyle daily on there was loads of stuff going on. So I don't think you wouldn't get bored on that ship.
No.
We certainly didn't get bored.
Oh no.
There was plenty to do on there, and they had a sail away party on the day they sailed out of Southampton. So there was always plenty of stuff going on. But check your freestyle daily once you're on board.
There was plenty of like Stacey just said, activities going on. Like we joined in cornhole.
Yeah.
There was stuff like that going on.
There was loads.
Yeah. Now there's plenty to do on the ship, both paid and not paid for.
We have done a video on that to go into detail.
Yeah, because there's like dry slides, a water slide.
Obviously the go-kart track.
Go-kart you have to pay for. All the VR stuff, which looked really cool.
In the Galaxy Pavilion, that was really good.
And then you had the little stadium. We fell in love with beer pong without the beer, even though it was very windy. Some days it's a kind of open area, so the ball would just go wee, and then we'd have to run after it.
We're quite fussy with ever if we did like a transatlantic or we look at itineraries with a lot of sea days, and we're quite fussy over what shit that would be on because we do get bored easily. And I would say, that is a good one. If you ever want to do like a transatlantic, it's got a lot of sea days, there's plenty to do.
Yeah, and another thing, they do show movies throughout the day and at night as well in different places. So
St Norman's, the Princess Theatre, they had quite a few different places for that.
And then they had, I always forget the name of the game. They had it in the day sometimes, and at night we joined in, where you have to guess the celeb behind and all stuff like that. So there's plenty of stuff going on everywhere.
So there you go, there's our feedback and just a few extra tips there for the Norwegian Prima. Obviously, again, like I said at the beginning, that's just our view. We can't say for certain that you're going to love it, but, just go and watch all the videos and just think, is that the ship, for me?
Yeah,
so
just go in with an open mind and you'll enjoy it.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, exactly. After these videos, we are going on the MSC Euribia, the newest MSC ship. So if you're interested in that, go and watch them.
And then in the start of 2024, we've got some non-cruise content coming, because we've got some exciting stuff for that. Because I think we do really love cruising, but 2024 is going to be a bit of mixing it up a little bit and doing some other travel. So stay tuned for that.
Exactly. So if you want to see all that, might as well subscribe, aren't you? Why not? But as always, thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.